Yeah.
Right. And they believe it, which is where the hypnosis is, where you actually have to believe what somebody's telling you. Then that completely
and you're saying
agency back.
Yeah, you're saying even like past life regression can sometimes help because it's like
that's just
if you right.
Yeah.
If you can convince yourself that there was something in a past life that was holding you back, and now it's not anymore, then
or vice versa.
You know,
if you can convince yourself that you were better in a past life and that piece is still inside of you, then you draw that out. I think that's also why, like, because I think the whole past life thing is complete bullshit for the most part.
Of course.
I think some people might have some level of genetic memory to what they're related, but like what people do with past life regression is bullshit. But like,
of course,
most people, you only ever hear past lives about interesting and important people, right? Like everybody's related, like it has been Napoleon at some point in time, but that's good, right? Because that's the level of the placebo effect. If you feel like you have a strong commander in your past life, like Napoleon, then it can help you take some command of your own life. Like I think that is the actual philosophical or like psychological thing that's going on when you do stuff like that.
Yeah. What? Oh, that was the air conditioner flipping on.
Yeah.
Well,
it's fun stuff.
Definitely.
And hi everybody, welcome to the Vomitorium, episode 140. I don't know, 7. I put the number on here every day and then I forget like immediately after I set everything up.
147.
As always, I'm your host, The Metal, and joining me is my co-host, Marsupial Gamer. How you doing today?
Good. That reminds me, we're halfway to episode 200 practically, almost.
Yeah, well
almost
technically
halfway.
More than halfway to 200.
Yeah,
we were halfway to 200.
Well, I mean halfway.
100.
Right. I mean halfway between 100 and 200.
We're almost at 150, is what he's trying to say. In other words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. Almost halfway between one number and another.
Yeah.
If you find that significant, then well, okay.
Yeah, I do believe there's an interesting case for past lives involving nobodies. I don't think we were audible for you guys at the time, but even what Marsupial was bringing up, if you put somebody without agency in your past life and show that like you're better than that person too, that can also help. There's different levels of things, and it's actually kind of up to a therapist to decide if they're going to talk to you about a past life, what is the best route for figuring out how to solve your current problem.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Scott Adams, and I do take what he says with a grain of salt. I do understand that he's not always right about everything.
Yeah,
but he has some interesting insights on.
He's very weird, like from his worldview, because he's kind of like a hard materialist that's also a mysticist at the same time, right? When he's even like, he'll say there's you can't just will things away. There's no such thing as willpower. But if I strongly think my thoughts into the universe, I can manifest them and they'll come back to me.
Yeah.
Which are very contradictory things.
He's a trained hypnotist. He's a big proponent of mushrooms. And he's a big proponent of the simulation theory.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he really believes in the simulation or not, but he seems to.
Yeah, and all these things are very mystical things, and even his beliefs around him are mystical. But he talks about them as if he only has a material view of them, right? Like the whole mushroom.
Yeah, it's a very.
Even if you're in a simulation that takes this mystical stuff and tries to make it material.
Yeah, it's a logical mysticism almost like.
But it's still very spiritual when you break it down.
Yeah, like he very much believes in affirmations. Yeah, basically saying, I will do this thing or this thing will happen, and he believes that causes them to happen. Yeah, but I don't know if he really believes it's because we're in a simulation and the simulation is just saying, "Oh, you really want this thing to happen, so it's going to happen."
Yeah.
Or if he believes in more of a, I'm almost subconsciously willing myself into a situation because of my daily affirmation.
Going back more to that hypnotic or placebo effect of like, if I believe this thing can happen, it is more likely that I will make it happen. Which that goes back to like, that's how I believe in willpower to a degree, is like that's just agency, right? The placebo effect is just one view of taking personal agency and asserting your will onto the world because you didn't have agency before that.
Yeah. But I don't know if it matters. I mean,
what matters is the effect.
I don't know if it matters. Right. Yeah. I don't know if it matters what his true beliefs are in terms of what's causing that sort of thing to happen.
Yeah.
As long as it works.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like the whole thing with the history of religion, right? And I think there's like people who are like hypercritical of religion and just shoot it down are missing something. Like a religion is very adaptive in the sense of like from an evolutionary term, and the reason the oldest ones have persisted for so long is because they work, right? They actually do what they're supposed to do. They get people to do what they're supposed to do. It creates long and powerful lineages. So it really doesn't matter too much where the belief comes from, but the belief matters because that's the thing that gets you to do the right thing.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
Yeah. And that's another thing people probably like, oh, it doesn't matter what you believe in as long as you believe. It's like, no. What you believe in matters because that actually does determine what you do.
Yeah. I should probably get his book, How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Succeed, or whatever it's called.
What if you had a split personality that believed they're in a simulation? Maybe to some degree a split personality is living in a simulation of your own head. So maybe your personality is not wrong. It's also not entirely right either.
Yeah.
I'm personally split on whether split personalities exist or not. I've seen equally good evidence for and against them, and equally bad evidence for and against them. So, like, I don't know. I've yet to be sold one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah.
Here's a story. This is funny. Have you ever watched Nick Rekieta play Elden Ring?
I think once I might have. I don't usually watch his stuff because he plays them on Twitch, right? And if I'm already watching somebody on Twitch, like, because I'm already on Twitch, I'll watch somebody else on Twitch. If I'm already on YouTube, I'll watch somebody else on YouTube. It's really hard to get me to jump from YouTube to Twitch for something. Like, I finish a show, go follow me over here. It's like, well, why don't you just do it over here?
Well, he has a strength only build in Elden Ring, a glass cannon basically.
Yeah,
and it's funny because he's been struggling on Milena, one of the hardest boss fights. Milena.
Yeah,
and I just happened upon a story on Kotaku about a glass cannon Elden Ring player who can actually one hit every single boss in the game.
Nice.
Like, wait a minute, how did he do that? Apparently it is possible, but actually
probably the plunging attack.
Well, I think it's a combination of obviously strength, particular weapon. He has a giant crusher hammer, and I think he has some sort of spell that also, he uses Ash of War Determination, which powers up your strength.
Yeah.
So a combination of things that basically allows him to one hit anything. That game is interesting. There's always different combinations of different ways to play.
Yeah. I remember when the game first came out, there were people who were one-shotting bosses. They found a very weird glitch where they could basically use the physics of the game and kind of like bug themselves to launch way up into the air. Like they would like
yeah.
force themselves into a wall or something. It would launch them into the air. And the way fall damage works in that game is if you didn't hit something, it would basically kill you. But if you aimed yourself right on the way down and did like a plunging attack, you would transfer all of the fall damage from you into the boss, and you would just like kill it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, last I looked at bugs in Elden Ring, there was one creature, some little dog, some little undead demon dog that had a screwed up hitbox or something, where it would basically hit you on every frame.
Yeah.
And just like instantly kill you. I imagine they've patched that out by now. But I haven't looked at glitches in a while. Not since somebody beat the game in like 7 minutes using various glitches.
Oh, any percent speedrun. Let's go.
Yeah, I should look it up. I wonder what the current...
I love any percent speedruns because those get crazy, right? Like everybody's like, oh, I want the glitchless run or I want the 100% run. It's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. It is nice to know what you can do if you play the game the way it's intended as fast as possible. But those any percent runs where you freaking have Link throw bugs in a bottle and walk through the wrong door and then he's like suddenly fighting Ganon as a kid. That's the crazy shit that you actually want to watch. You're like, what actually can be exploited in this game that we're watching right now?
Oh, I see why I haven't seen much on it. There hasn't been a record in a month. Looks like the any percent unrestricted speedrun is the record is 5 minutes 58 seconds. But that was a month ago. More than a month and 4 days. Nobody's tied or beat it since. I wonder if they patched out the wrong warp. Wonder if that's why. Weird.
Well, okay, if they patched it out though, then you'd expect to see a new record. Because with stuff like that, you would probably see an asterisk on the original record because you were no longer able to attain it past that patch.
I don't know. It was on version 1.04, which is the highest version I'm seeing on here. And 5 minutes 58 seconds. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
The fastest any percent. See, what's the difference between any percent and any percent unrestricted?
Some any percents have restrictions, like there is any percent glitchless sometimes too, where it's like you can finish the game at any percent that the game will let you, but you can't use glitches and things like that. Some games you literally have to basically 100% it to play it glitchless if you go far enough back. But yeah.
Here's the rules. You use the unrestricted. The only difference is you can quit the game with Alt F4 to execute wrong warps.
Okay.
You can force quit. With the regular any percent, you can't do that. But the regular any percent record is 25 minutes.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
Well, anyway.
That'd be like when you use Paper Mario switches or whatever, like the actual cartridge switch. It's like, this technically a speed run, but for like any rational sake, it has to be its own category.
Yeah, where you have to play two different games and switch them out. GMT says, I hear that you can trigger a glitch if you delete System 32.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you would consider that a glitch. A glitch is an unintended response. If you delete System 32, that the response you get is completely as like programmed. You need that for the system to run.
As intended.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, I have a couple other things, but you probably
you can
have
bring
some
up whatever you want. Most of what I brought up, or that I have pulled up, is pretty boring because not a lot had happened. Yeah.
Well, I have something fairly recent.
Okay. What you got?
As in, this just came up an hour ago. EA has decided not to take a stand on abortion rights.
Oh, okay.
Imagine
That's
that.
Good for them.
Imagine that being a headline, right?
Yeah.
Headline: Games company decides that it makes games.
I don't think my entertainment companies need to be taking political stances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I think it was Sony that recently said the same thing. We are not going to take a stand.
More and more people are starting to go in that direction. And I think because they've been finally seeing how much it hurts their profits when they take a hard stance.
Yeah. Yeah, look at Well, I don't know if we've seen any fallout yet, but look at Bungie. Bungie came out with a hard stance. Yeah. But didn't they get bought by Microsoft recently?
No. Bungie has a deal with Sony for. They're still technically. Okay. I don't know if they got fully bought out. They've been doing a sole contract with Sony for a bit, but they might have actually been fully bought out.
Yeah.
But here's the problem when you take a hard stance. Actually, Aiden Paladin did a great video on it that I would recommend. I do recommend, but all of her videos are somewhere between like 1 and 3 hours long, so they're heavily filled with research. That's what makes them so good. But you might need to watch it at twice the speed to get through it. And actually, it might have been a year ago when she was talking about this. But there's a video on the effect of taking like a political stance in advertising. And it turns out that like the short end of it is that if you take a hard political stance, it really doesn't do too much for you, but it can do a lot against you. Possibly. It depends how much your people care about the stance. So like take abortion. If you make a stance for or against abortion, well, you are probably going to alienate people who are on the opposite side of it, but you're not going to get any more people to use your product than already were who even agree with whatever you put. And it depends on how necessary your product is on whether your stance actually makes people stop buying it. Coke has not lost any sales anytime they've done any of their woke-related stuff, but most people are addicted to Coca-Cola, so it's not really going to affect their sales. But boy, did Gillette lose a lot of sales when they made that stupid commercial that everybody hated. GMT even brings Gillette up too.
Yeah, definitely.
And the problem was, when you look at Gillette, they have a women's division, but the vast majority of people are men. So whatever political stance you do, it has to be one that doesn't piss men off. Right? You have to look at like what you sell, whether you're necessary, whether there's viable competition. So something like soda, they could afford to be political because it's all taste, and most people develop a preference, and you like a lot of people won't do a knockoff. They won't do like a store brand cola, right? It's Coke or nothing for them. But if you're like a product that is practical, like a razor, and there's easily obtainable practical competition, then alienating your customer base is actually a really bad idea. And in general, it just seems to be better to not have a political opinion because it's low risk, low reward, but low risk. And in those type of established businesses, low risk is just better than trying to get some type of reward. Would you rather have low risk, low reward, or high risk, low reward? Because that's what the alternative is in that case.
Impossible, high risk, whatever, high punishment.
You might get a minimal reward for it, but the chance of failure is a much higher.
Yeah. No, I didn't see Pal World. I mean, I saw you posted that link, but I haven't looked at it yet.
That is something to talk about. Oh my god, I don't do drugs. Watching that trailer, I felt like I did something just before that. A hit of acid, or I'm not even sure. Yeah, it's crazy.
I think I've seen trailer for Pal World.
This is not the first trailer. They did some preliminary stuff. I've never seen anything before. I think I've maybe roughly heard of it, like secondhand. This is the first official trailer for the thing. Full like release trailer.
Okay. It looks like well, I guess to wrap up that subject, I mean, I think it's a bold move for EA to say no, we're not going to alienate half of our customers. It's not our job. We're going to make games.
Bold itself being written in both bold and italics there.
Yeah.
Because, again, statistically, it's the least bold move you can make. It's the safest move.
Yeah. Well, it's a move most companies should make.
And we're seeing more doing
all companies.
So that's good. We even see Netflix had the big walkouts recently because they're like, no, we're not going to censor. There might be woke content on here. There might be stuff that you guys hate. That's up to the production teams and who we decide to fund. That's up to them.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I watched like 3/4 of the Ricky Gervais comedy special.
Oh yeah.
It's hilarious, of course.
Yeah, I haven't watched
absolutely
it yet,
hilarious.
I definitely will because it's Ricky.
I will have to say that it is way more risque than what's his name? The other guy.
The other guy.
The other guy that people were complaining about.
Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle, yeah.
Okay.
It is way worse, quote unquote, than Dave Chappelle.
Oh.
It is way more politically incorrect. And, in my opinion, funnier because of that, probably.
I like Ricky. He's got a very defined voice as a comedian. But the subjects he handles are familiar to older comedians. I would like to see if, without losing his voice, like you wouldn't want him to sound like Carlin. You wouldn't want him to do the same type of things. But I would like it if he like just fully picks up the manual of like, I'm going to be doing the social commentary now with my dry, witty British humor style, but I'm going to be doing the social commentary now. I think he'd be.
I mean, he kind of did.
Yeah. Well, this would
kind of what this.
Right, like he's weaned it in here and there in the past, but I heard this one, and you said you saw like 3/4 of it, so you can reassure me on this, was almost entirely social commentary.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Which would be kind of...
What's funny, like he had this whole thing about punching down.
Yeah.
And he said, he was joking about trans people, but then he, like in that same sort of set of jokes, he started talking about punching a toddler.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that nobody complained about him saying, talking about punching toddlers, but of course they complain about him, making fun of other people.
He's got such a, and that might be very British. It might be the fact that he was inspired by people like Douglas Adams and growing up, but he's got like this very absurdist view to his humor, which is a great way to do humor because the absurd makes people laugh, where he'll take something that you're used to seeing in the day and in your everyday, you want to make fun of this, but then he'll just take it to this like absurdist extreme, like the idea of punching a toddler. This is something that most people wouldn't even consider, and it just comes out of left field.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's pretty short. It's only like an hour, but I ran out of time this morning.
Yeah.
I'll
probably watch it later today then. I keep forgetting to. Yeah. Like I see it on my feed that people are talking about. I was like, oh, I should go do that. And then I'll get busy and do something else.
Yeah. Highly recommended. I could see, though, if his humor isn't for everyone. Because like you said, it's a little bit different. He's quite British. And he does the absurdist stuff. And
because of the absurdism, he is a little more wet than most British comedians, right? Because British humor is known for their very dry comedy, and he does have a very dry delivery for the most part. He could get energetic with it. His voice will raise. He'll start like getting kind of like, "Are you for real?" But like other than that, he's got a dry delivery. But he's wetter. I think he's easier for broader audiences to soak in than most British comics.
Yeah. Is the opposite of dry humor really wet humor?
That would be, the opposite of dry humor is wet humor. Yeah. And most people don't use the term, and I think it's because we're used to really energetic, very acting, very, like, cause people to tear up type of humor. That's become more of the standard. So you just use dry to describe what is outside of your expectation. But the opposite of dry humor would be wet humor.
Well, before I get into other things that I've watched, because I have watched some other things.
Yeah.
Did you want to look at Pal World real quick?
Yeah, let's look at Pal World because, again, it's a drug trip. That's what I call it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Pokemon mixed with Overwatch mixed with Harvest Moon mixed with something else. I don't know. It's bizarre.
Valheim was
GMT
one
says
of the things people say it looks like it's mixed with.
What is it?
Valheim.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do a little bit slower because it is pretty fast. It goes by pretty quickly. But
moist or damp humor is another term people use, but that just still means wet.
Moist humor. Yeah, so you're riding around on Pokemon, and one of them's carrying you, but you also have a gun, and the Pokemon has a gun.
Yeah, and your main character looks like her clothing design was based off of like Alloy from the Horizon series.
Maybe. Or almost like Breath of the Wild. And you're farming with a...
And the thing about it is, like, all these Pokemon we see, look at these. I literally mean they're Pokemon because their models are literally just Pokemon models that have been slightly retooled. Like, I recognize all the base models to these. This game, I don't know if this is Chinese or not, but it seems like something that it would barely skirt past a cease and desist and should probably get one.
That's a little interesting.
But then it gets to this point, and your drug trip starts to become like a bad trip, and you're kind of like wondering what type of roller coaster am I on?
Wait.
Where this character wakes up in like... Have you ever played Call of Duty Black Ops? Where like the game starts off where you wake up in the chair with the guy torturing you? Like the immediate vibe that I get there, and the other Pokemon are strapped down. Now you're freaking like that was the strange, like, what is this, Banjo fucking Kazooie over here? Where he's like slapping the Zatu looking thing and eggs were popping out. Because in Banjo Tooie, there was like these first person shooter sections where Banjo would hold Kazooie and shoot eggs out.
Yeah, and look, like, okay. Let's go back for a second. Where was it?
This whole thing. Very Breath of the Wild, but I mean, Legends Arceus was built in the Breath of the Wild engine.
Yeah. I don't know what these guys are doing.
That's
what I was going to say. Suddenly you're in Metal Gear. Yeah. You're like stealthing around a corner. There's an explosion. Like, what the hell was...
The fiery explosion, everything reminds me of what was it, Phantom Pain or whatever, with the hospital at the beginning with the fire ghost guy.
Yeah. And now you're in Pokemon Arena.
Yeah.
What the hell is this game? Yeah. So what is with? Wait, where was it?
Freaking Lucario.
Yeah, this is where it gets very strange.
Yeah, this just looks like Black Ops. And you get like these Electrobuzz shit over here. Just
These weird, like,
These
what is happening with
electric Totoros?
They look like Sprigatitos almost.
Yeah.
That they're assembling like AR-15s or something.
Yeah.
And falling over dead. Like, is this
being overworked?
Pokemon sweatshop?
Yeah, it is a sweatshop.
Look at that.
Freaking leafy Pachirisu ass looking motherfuckers.
Oh my god.
It just eats a freaking Piplup. But yeah, look, there's freaking Banjo Tooie over here. Just this game is just so ridiculous. And I normally hate knockoff games because they're usually never as good as the base thing. Yeah, like I almost want to play this obvious ripoff of a game because of how ridiculous it is. And it's like it's not a single ripoff. It's ripping off so many different things at once that it's almost a unique thing. Yeah. It's not quite a unique thing, but it's almost a unique thing.
Yeah, we've got a what's this called? A Dragonite or a Dragonair?
Actually, that doesn't even look like a Dratini or Dragonair. That looks like a
Dratini. Yeah.
It looks more like a Milotic mixed with God, what is Pop? I can't remember what Poplio evolves into the final stage. It turns into a mermaid-looking thing. It's like a mix between those two.
This is like Lucario. This looks like a Mewtwo.
Yeah. Well, this Lucario.
Is this Arceus in the back?
Well, that thing kind of looks like a mix between like Reshiram and what's that guy? Zoroark. Yeah. But yeah, there's like all these. I can tell like the models of the based Pokemon that they're ripping shit off.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like that definitely the body looked like they used Mewtwo's body, but all of the features look like the Zoroark mixed with Reshiram, and you're just like, why?
There's a what is the sheep called again?
Oh frick.
Woolly?
Yeah, there's Woolly. There's a few different sheep, but I think that one's supposed to be the Woolly one.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
It's probably closer to what would happen in the real world than any of the things is ripping. You know, that's true. If Pokemon were real, we wouldn't just be using Pokemon for warfare. We would be using guns and Pokemon, and we would probably try to start outfitting the Pokemon with guns too.
Yeah.
She's like, well, the Pokemon are stronger than guns. It's like, yeah, I'm sure something that can melt boulders is stronger than a gun. I mean, that's why we use napalm and stuff. But also, it's a living thing, and if you can shoot it with a gun, you can take care of it before it melts boulders.
Yeah. Or you can give it a gun, and then it's just as powerful as it was, plus a gun.
Yeah, like if you give a Pikachu a gun, it could be shooting things and lightning at the same time. Maybe actually, because bullets are made of metal, it could be charging the shots. I don't know. That would be very weird. Your gun would... You'd have to like shoot it as it goes out because you would ignite the gunpowder if you tried to charge it beforehand, and that could only have so many problems. But like, it's Pokemon. They're weird. Maybe he could like accurately charge a bullet after it leaves the barrel. It should have been the next Jurassic World movie. That should be the next Detective Pikachu movie.
That would be pretty cool.
I don't want them to make another Detective Pikachu. I want them to make more Pokemon movies, but I don't want them to make another Detective Pikachu. Just to do some other story.
Yeah, I mean, they could
I'm still waiting for that Netflix show.
Yeah. Well, they could do like a sequel to Detective Pikachu, but
that's not.
It doesn't have to be
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically just a
follow-up.
Because he didn't have to continue to be a detective. He could do other things.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could always just bring Ryan Reynolds back into it too, as Ryan Reynolds now that he's not a Pikachu anymore. But no, I mean, like you don't even have to have them directly. To do a follow-up movie. It could be some other fucking story in the same world.
Yeah. Dr. Jigglypuff.
Dr. Jigglypuff.
Just put people to sleep. Isn't the doctor? What's the doctor Pokemon or the nurse Pokemon?
Chansey.
That's in the Chansey. Yeah, there you go. It has to be Dr. Chansey.
like, damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a Pokemon.
Why not both?
Yeah.
So you want to know the other things that I watched?
Yeah. What else do you have? I need some type of palate cleanser from that.
You want to talk about Sonic 2?
Did you watch Sonic 2?
I did.
Oh, I have not seen it. Tell me about Sonic 2.
So here's the trick.
Mm-hmm.
You can sign up to Paramount Plus and get, I think, a 7-day free trial. But once your free trial runs out, all you need is a different email address and you can sign up again and get another free trial.
Yeah, that's typically how these free trials work.
Yeah. So I signed up for a free trial of Paramount Plus. And, I would say Sonic 2. So it was really just to watch Sonic 2. That was the only reason. Yeah. Which we could watch, by the way, if you want to watch it again.
We could.
Discord,
we could either plan that or maybe I'll talk to my brothers because I don't think they've seen it yet. We have access to Paramount Plus over here because my mom needs it for I don't even remember what show it is. But she gets like the bundled package where you get it in Amazon, so you're only paying like a couple extra dollars as opposed to getting it by itself.
Yeah.
And that's how I was watching the South Park specials when they came out. And with this huge TV out in the lair, the garage that I showed pictures of. So if you and I don't hook up to watch it, I'll probably just watch it with them out there.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of Sonic 1? What was your...
Oh, I had the dissenting opinion of it was mid. A lot of people really liked it. Some people, very, very few people, thought it was too bad to watch. When I did finally watch it, I was like, it's like an average movie. I don't even think it's a good Sonic movie. The portrayal of Sonic as a character was okay. Yeah. Eggman wasn't Eggman. He still didn't even really start acting like Eggman at the end of the first movie. It was just like Jim Carrey in a role doing what Jim Carrey normally does in a role. It was okay. I thought it was a mid movie because it was more of a buddy road trip movie than a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Yeah. And if I want to see a Sonic the Hedgehog buddy movie, I want his buddy to be Tails, not some random human.
Yeah. I think you're going to like this one. Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I thought it was better than the first one. Chad says, didn't I watch the Halo? Is the Halo show on Paramount Plus? Or is that
is it? I thought it was like Stars, or maybe it might even be HBO. I don't know which one it's on. I know I'm not watching it. Because the co-creator of Halo actually came out. We were going to talk about this last time, and we didn't. But he came out and said
it is.
That this is not the Halo I made. He refused to actually condemn the show or say whether he liked it or didn't because that conflict of interest or something. I don't know if he's on some type of contract, but he hasn't been involved in Halo in a long time. So I don't know if there actually would be a conflict of interest. He should just say like, hey, it's crap. But he refused to. He just said, this is not the Halo I made. And we already knew that because they said they did not even use the video game for reference or let it bog them down while making the show. So.
Yeah. I just looked it up. Apparently, it is on Paramount Plus, but I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, I'm not watching it either. I know it's crap. I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah. So without spoiling it, I mean, we all know Tails is in it. It is definitely exactly what you said. It is a buddy comedy, but Tails is the buddy.
Yeah.
So I think they fixed that. And Knuckles is obviously in it, and he's not Ugandan. Sorry, GMT. But
no, he's actually British.
Not in this movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the actor, or at least he would have a British accent, and it depends what you actually define as British, whether you have to have a long genetic line or not. But it's Idris Elba.
Yeah. But he didn't have a British accent. Interestingly enough. So yeah, I mean, and Eggman unfortunately was not fat.
He's English.
Still,
English, I think, is probably a better way to say it. He wouldn't be British, but he'd be English.
Oh well, he didn't have an English accent either. But if you're looking for a fat Eggman, I think you'll be satisfied by the end of the movie. Let me put it this way. They definitely improved on the whole Dr. Robotnik, Eggman kind of character.
Yeah. Well, I don't even really care so much that he's fat, though I did want Jim Carrey in a fat suit from the very beginning of the last thing. Just the egg shape. Like, obviously his lanky limbs are perfect for Eggman otherwise. My concern was more of like he wasn't portraying Eggman the way he was acting. So if he starts acting more like Dr. Robotnik by the end of this movie, that's better.
I think he was, and I don't want to spoil too much. I don't know. I don't remember what was in the previews, but let me just say there's a lot more in terms of the robotic stuff. Because I didn't, other than the stupid little drones and stuff in the first one, I didn't feel like he was Dr. Robotnik. Like, it wasn't a very good name.
In this one, is he like torturing animals and turning them into robots?
No.
Oh, damn it.
No, but
because Eggman was actually quite evil when you think about it. Like, he was stealing animals and making them the cores for robots. And it's like when Sonic would kill something, you would see the animal fly free or whatever.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think they improved everything. Yes, Knuckles had a ton of screen time. And, he was cool. He was a match for Sonic, it wasn't like one-sided. There was one cool scene where it's underwater that very much harkened back to the video games, I thought. It was really cool. And, Tails was a little annoying, but I mean, he was kind of more of a kid kind of character, but he had some cool gadgets and stuff. I don't want to spoil it because it was good. I'd recommend it. I thought it was better than the first one. The music, is the underwater music in it? Yes, that is.
Is the running out of air music in it? Is that's what we're talking about?
Yes.
Boom, boom. Okay.
Yes, it is. I thought there was a very humorous moment with that.
Has Jim Carrey ever been in a fat suit before? Technically, I can think of one time he has. The Grinch. It wasn't a full-on fat suit, but Jim Carrey didn't have that pot belly that the Grinch had. That was actually part of the suit. They had multiple copies of the suit too. What's his face? Happy Days. What's his name? Actor turned director. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, Ron Howard?
Ron Howard, yes. He directed The Grinch. He actually would sometimes wear the Grinch suit in the Santa suit as well, and he also had the pot belly that was part of the costume. So he's been in a fat suit before, just not like to the extent that you should be to be the egg-shaped man.
I don't want to say exactly how, but the big fat egg man look is in the movie.
Okay.
Just trust me. You'll see. You'll know what I mean if you watch it. So, I think there was a little bit for everyone. Of course there were some cheesy parts. The stupid part with the wife's sister getting married. The woman that didn't like the main character dude. That whole part was stupid, but it was very short. It wasn't a major part of the movie.
Yeah. Well, that was my biggest concern, is because the first movie is basically just Hop, but with Sonic. And once you establish lore, it's like how much of that established last movie is going to have to be called back to in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it is a little bit, but honestly, they focused so much more on Sonic, so much more on Tails and Knuckles, that stuff was just a side story. So, I mean, really, Sonic was in it from beginning to end. And what was the cop's name?
I don't want to remember his name.
Whatever. That actor.
One of the big reasons I didn't like that movie so much.
Yeah. He was not in the movie very much at all. And none of the humans, I mean, other than Jim Carrey, really very few of the humans were in the movie hardly at all. So, I did like it's funny they brought back the assistant to Eggman, and he was actually really funny. He was really funny in this.
Listen, all they had to do, if they wanted a human involved, is they just had to take Sonic X and turn it into a live action movie. That's all they had to do with Chris.
Yeah.
Because even people didn't like Chris, probably because they just wanted more screen time with Sonic, and I don't blame them. But he was still a more likable character than the guy from the last movie. And it's just like Sonic Adventure.
Now, they said that Jim Carrey's not coming back for a third one, right?
I think so, but that's also because Jim Carrey, in general, is like quitting Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they teased a third movie, which looks interesting. Could be good. I don't think they would need Jim Carrey to come back for a third movie, but yeah, they did tease a third movie.
Should replace him with Neil Patrick Harris.
I mean, they don't need an Eggman because they introduced a different villain at the end.
But you still need Eggman, even if he's not like the main villain of the movie.
Well, okay. I mean, they could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like frickin' Superman 2. Lex Luthor's still in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll entice him to come back for a cameo or something. Who knows? But yeah, that is the one thing, is that they didn't have any animals getting turned into robots. They kind of replaced that with the whole drones.
Sonic's a dark story, the original stuff. Like very, very dark. It's bright and colorful, but it's dark the way it's told. Especially when you look at like the Archie Comics interpretation of the story, because obviously they got to do their own thing, but they were going off of like what the game's material was at the time before it branched into its own direction. A lot of it was identical at the very beginning, and those stories get really, really dark. And I wish they kind of just went into those routes. Oh, you can almost like make them Don Bluth movies by talking about how dark they are. There's actually this one like comic line too, where everybody's like slowly being turned into like mechanized versions of themselves. That's almost like a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, they didn't talk about. Isn't there like a Mecha Sonic, like a robotic Sonic?
Yeah. Well, actually,
Metal Sonic.
There's several robotic Sonics, but the Metal Sonic is the like original everybody likes.
They didn't have that, but I mean that could be in a third movie.
And they did. That to be Sonic 2 of all the places.
What's that?
You'd expect that to be in Sonic 2. Because it's where the boss fight is.
Well, Knuckles was the main.
Well, Knuckles didn't come until Sonic and Knuckles. And mostly associated with 3 more than anything. Though the way the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge works is it was a cartridge with another cartridge port at the top, kind of like a Game Genie. And if you put it in and then put one of the other Sonic games in too, you could play as Knuckles in that Sonic game.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
So that's why there's Sonic 3 and Knuckles and stuff like that.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. The one other thing I'll say is it did center around. So I don't know the whole lore from the games, but this one did include, the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emerald. Yeah. And I don't know how accurate that was to the games, but it was compelling to me because.
Well, you need to have the Master Emerald because that's what Knuckles is concerned with. Right, so if you're gonna have Knuckles in there, you have to bring in. Metal Sonic debuted in Sonic CD. I thought there was another robotic Sonic that was before that. I'm trying to remember. There's like 4 different robotic Sonics. The one you see now is just Metal Sonic.
Yeah. Well, in this one, they said that basically the Chaos Emeralds combined into the Master Emerald.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's accurate to the games or not, but I didn't care.
No, that's not. The Master Emerald's like a control, like a remote control almost.
No,
it would. You could turn off the Chaos Emeralds. It's much bigger, just emerald that Knuckles' people was in charge of guarding, and he's like the last of the echidnas. So he was just there. Yeah.
Well, so they got the basics down. Yeah, that's basically what it was. But it was interesting. And then, you know,
okay, Mecha Sonic was the one that was in 2 that I was thinking of. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the ending was great. I love the ending.
Yeah.
So I thought it was great.
I knew there was like some robotic Sonic in 2. I was blanking on it. I think 2 is probably the one I played the most of the original ones, and widely it's considered the best one amongst people. But yeah,
just like Mega Man 2.
So I think it's because that was the first one that had Tails in it, and you could play 2-player, and it's saving. You couldn't save the original, I think. No, or was it 3 that was the first one saving? 2 had Tails. I'm trying to remember which was the first one that actually had a save. It might have been 3.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I never played them. I was a Mario guy.
I didn't own them. We didn't have Sega consoles at my house. But there was this weird, like, you know how like most grocery stores have like arcades and stuff like that? For some reason, our Kroger had like a daycare room. And even when we were a little too old to be in the daycare room, my mom would just drop us off in there anyway. And they had several Sega systems. And like, cool, I'm going to play Sonic the Hedgehog. And I also played Phantasy Star 4 there too. I was like in an untouched file, I was like the only person that was playing it.
Cool.
And I think there was a Sega Batman game that we used to play too. That was like based off the animated series or something. I don't know. It was a long time ago. Of course, it has to be. Like, if we're talking about Sega games closer when they were new, when's the last time they had a console, right? any Sega console game is going to be a long ass time ago.
Yeah. So, but Sonic came around on the Genesis, right? Because I don't think that there wasn't a Sonic game on the Master System.
No, Sonic was it early 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would have been on the Genesis. Yeah. I don't think the Master System was blast enough for which one had the blast processor? Was that the Genesis or was that something else?
I think it might blast processing might have been Genesis.
Sonic 1 was on the Master System? Really?
Because Genesis was the one competing directly with Super Nintendo, and that's when the blast processing advertisements were going on.
No, that's not.
No, I think it was Genesis.
Yeah, the original Sonic the Hedgehog was released in 1991 for the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Man, GMT, you're on crack. You don't know what you're talking about.
Robot crack.
It was not on the Master System. According to Wikipedia, it was on the Genesis.
Yeah, and would Wikipedia lie to you?
Never. Because the whole point was the Genesis was supposed to be fast and everything, and that was
Genesis does everything, and Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Okay, so maybe it was ported to the Master System.
Yeah,
perhaps. That's what she's suggesting, I believe. Okay. Okay, she's right. An 8-bit version of the original Sonic was developed to promote the Game Gear and released in basically 6 months after the Genesis version. Huh. Okay, so I guess
if you actually look at her words, she never said that it was launched or originally released. She just said that it was on the Master System.
Okay. All right.
She might still be on crack, though.
All right.
For completely other reasons.
That's right. So you are correct, GMT. Yeah. It was eventually released on the Master System. I didn't know that.
No. Yeah. But I don't know. Sonic's okay. My problem with Sonic's always been most of his games aren't that good. Like, the vast majority of Sonic games aren't that good. He's a cooler character than his games actually are. Even some of the older Sonic games, It's like Sonic's supposed to go fast, and his levels are designed to not let him go fast. And I don't mean like they're an obstacle course that you have to memorize. A lot of the levels have like hard stops, vertical platform, like a lot of stuff that just stop you from going fast. And that's why there's more memorable levels, because they're the ones where if you do memorize the obstacle course, you can go fast. And I think my favorite Sonic games were always the Sonic Advance games, because all the levels in those games were designed for you to go fast, even if there were obstacles you had to navigate.
Yeah.
But like,
apparently
plagued with bad games.
Apparently Sonic 06 was just re-released for Xbox or something. Let me see. Sonic 06 has been relisted on the Xbox 360 marketplace yesterday. Interestingly. So if you're looking for some 3D Sonic action with plenty of bugs,
horrible Sonic game. Now that game could have been
shitty
good.
Gameplay.
Like there's a lot of good intention behind it. At one point in time, it was probably developing good. They've even got like some earlier release models that don't have as many levels, but things are more stable that you can find. It was supposed to be the closest thing to an open world Sonic game that you were supposed to get back then, before the one that they're trying now, having like a hub world and all that stuff. But the issue with that game,
what's funny,
is they changed directors like twice throughout the process of making that game. And that's like the issue with most Sonic games, is Sonic Team can't keep a consistent director.
So weirdly enough, though, it's only available for the Xbox 360. It is not available on Xbox One or Series. So if you still have an Xbox 360 and you got $5 to spare,
not a backwards compatible game for the series, because they've been trying to make almost every game backwards compatible. Like if you have the 360 version of the game,
currently not available on Xbox One or the Xbox Series. That's what it says.
Maybe it's too bug ridden for them to be able to like
it is only
backwards compatibility things.
Yeah, it is only as of yesterday available on the Xbox 360 marketplace.
Yeah. How's the 360 marketplace still a thing?
No idea. I don't know. Yeah. That's a good question. But have you seen the AVGN episode for Sonic 06?
Yeah. It's many moons ago.
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Looks like a pretty bad game.
It is a bad game. If you actually want to see how bad it is in way more detail than the AVGN one, you could watch the entire... Well, I say entire... they're never going to finish it, but the playthrough of Sonic 06 by the Game Grumps back when JonTron was still on it.
Oh, yeah.
Which was great. I mean, you want to see how much of a bug riddle, man. There's a famous quote by Egoraptor where he's like, sometimes you just have to like let me find this quote, because it seems like a very motivational quote until you realize what he's talking about. Let me find the Egoraptor not today quote. I don't want to butcher it. Let's see. Yeah. It's like, you've got to make a statement. You got to look inside yourself and say, what am I willing to put up with today? Right? And it's like, it's such a motivational quote. And then like immediately afterwards, because people always cut it off before he gets to that point. And it's just like, but today is not this day. I am not putting up with this today, because he's talking about Sonic 06 after like they failed the same ramp jump like 15 times in a row, and he's shooting off in random angles and stuff like that. And he's like, they take a calm picture of him when he puts it up there, and he's like, what am I willing to put up with today? But he's actually screaming these words as he's saying. Because it's just like, that's it. We're done. I can't do it, John.
I'll have to look that up after.
Yeah. It's such a great playthrough. It was peak Game Grumps. It was before it went off the rails. It's before Ego Raptor went off the rails.
Is that going to be on YouTube somewhere?
I don't know if the whole playthrough. I think it is, because I think even if they don't have it up, it's archived. But I don't think they took it down, even though they were trying to like memory hold JonTron at one point.
Oh god, there's like 20 parts to it.
Yeah, and they never finish it. The parts to it that's the whole thing they're doing. And then John left after that, and that's the end of the playthrough.
That is funny. So yeah, I think it's all up because I see part 20. I'm not gonna look. Well, yeah, no.
I think there was like 60 parts though. I don't know if that's the whole thing.
Oh, you're right. There's a whole playlist.
There's like 60 episodes or something like that.
Oh,
they played that game for how many?
108.
108. Okay. They played that for a long time.
Oh my
god. And then they quit. And then JonTron.
Yeah, there's a whole. There's a whole playlist. So if anybody wants to see the whole thing, there it is. Including the playlist. There's 108 episodes.
It's a very, very good playthrough. I forgot how many episodes were. I'm like, I know there's way more than 20 though.
Yeah, holy crap.
Is rystar better designed than Sonic games? Let me actually think about that because I haven't played rystar in a long time.
Yeah.
I have a copy I could play again because I have the like the Mega collection on Steam that's got all the games. I instinctually, like my gut wants to say yes, but I really don't think I've played that game in like a couple decades. So,
but I mean, there's only one rystar game as far as I can see.
Yeah, if we'd have to compare it solely to like Sonic 1, right? Like if there's only one game, you can only compare it to like the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
Or I guess the equivalent game that came out at the same time, which might actually have been like what, Sonic 2. But is it better designed than Sonic 2? I don't know. Sonic 2 is probably the best designed Sonic game that's done by Sonic Team. My favorite Sonic games, the advanced ones, were done by THQ. When a completely different team. That's probably why they're so good. They're like, let's take the actual idea that Sonic's supposed to go fast and go fast. Was there 2 rystars? I don't know. I've only played the original. If there's a second one, if there is a second one, I don't know. I'm in that collection.
I'm loath to say that GMT is wrong about anything. So if she says there's,
well, that's why I'm asking. I'm assuming she's right about it.
Oh, look, it says Sega was originally pitching rystar to be the successor of Sonic.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything about a second one. Rystar has never received any sequels, according to Wikipedia.
But yeah, I don't know.
That's what it says. Wait. Rystar as a character has only made a few minor cameo appearances. Wait, what? Outside of his 2 original games.
Wikipedia, stop having conflicting information in you.
Yeah, wait a minute. It had no sequels,
Wikipedia
but there were
would
2
never
of them.
lie to you, and then immediately lies within its own article.
I don't understand. Rystar is a 2D side-scrolling platform game. I don't understand.
Yeah, again, like I
only talks about.
I remember enjoying it a little, but again, it's been forever.
It says is a 1995 platform game.
Yeah. Now,
while never receiving any sequels.
I think I've definitely played the original Sonic way more recently.
Oh, wait. Here we go. A Game Gear game, Rystar, was also released. Different level design and gameplay mechanics. So there were 2.
Yeah. There were 2
one
of
for
the same game.
One for the Genesis. Yeah, they're called the same, but they're basically different. Stupid Wikipedia. Those are two different games as far as I am concerned.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
look at that.
Super
GMT
Nintendo,
was right.
The Super Nintendo and Genesis versions of Aladdin are two different games, even though they're built to be the same game because they have different level designs and even some different mechanics.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Look at that. GMT was 100% right. I told you she was right.
I wasn't doubting her. I said she was probably right. Yeah. Why are you looking at me?
All right. So you want to know the last thing that I saw?
What's the last thing you got?
See, I took 2 days off of work, Friday and Monday, and I was bored. So
you just started watching movies.
Well, the other thing that I watched was Spy Family.
Oh, you finally got around to it
last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to correct now that I've actually seen it. I have to correct how I described it. Now, first of all, let me just say, this show, for me anyway, it may not be for everyone, but for me, Spy Family is the best TV show that I have seen in literally decades. Like, I can't even think of a show that is better since, I don't know, Star Trek Voyager or something, or Deep Space Nine or something. One of the good Star Trek
statement. It's probably the boldest thing you've said. I can't judge it. I mean, for your opinion, like, I could be correct. I'm just saying, like, that is a very bold statement to make.
I know. I was trying to think. I was like, this show is so good.
Yeah.
But it may not, like I said, it may not be for some reason it hit all the right notes for me. It was just like, this show is amazing. But I mean, I think if you're into anime, I don't know, what's your favorite anime? Like
me? Oh, I watch all kinds of different stuff. I'm a variety guy. Like, I like different.
I'd imagine
stuff.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's for people that loved, I don't know, One Piece or what's that one that they did an awful Netflix adaptation of?
Awful Netflix.
Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, Cowboy Bebop. Right? I was saying, like, there have been a few awful Netflix adaptations already.
Yeah.
There have been a few ones too.
Yeah. Anyway, for me, this is like the best TV show of any kind, not just anime, but like any TV show that I've seen in decades. So I was right about the father. It's the main character. Yes, the anime Spy. It's Spy X Family, but I think it's called.
But you don't
Spy
say
Family.
the X. Yeah.
Right. The main character, I was right, is a spy who's basically on a mission, and he has to create this fake family.
Yeah.
Because he has to get a child into this prestigious school to get close to this other family. I don't even remember what the point of it is, but he's trying to get close to this other family. And so he finds this orphan, Anya, who's the cutest, unbelievably cutest girl ever.
Who happens to be psychic.
She can literally read his thoughts. And then he has to get a wife because it's a very conservative school, and they have to interview the family.
And he accidentally hires an assassin and he doesn't know.
Exactly. Yeah, he doesn't know. I think I said that she was a spy, but no, she's
since then I've seen more people posting things, and I found out that she was an assassin, because Anya even says, like, a spy and an assassin, like her internal monologue, like subtitles.
Yeah, so she's the only one who knows. But she's also like 4 years old. She pretends to be 6, but I think she's younger because he's looking for a 6-year-old to go into first grade. But I think she's younger than that, so she lies and says that she's 6. But she's really young, and so, like, sometimes, like, it's so adorable because she clearly is in love with this mother and father, but at the same time, occasionally they'll scare the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Because the mother will be thinking about dismembering people or something, and she'll be like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. Well, I
She'll
mean,
freak
if you're
out.
an orphan, right, you have no mother and father, and you have an instinct to want to have parents. I mean, you're usually born into
Right.
them. Like, it'd be pretty easy for a girl that young to just immediately fall in love with the first people that give her the attention.
Yeah. Right. But they're so cute. I mean, and they're so they clearly, the two parents aren't really in love with each other, but they like are both totally in love with Anya. It's so funny. And of course the spy, the main character, he doesn't admit it. I mean, he's like, I am on a mission and blah blah blah. But at the same time, the stuff that he does, he's clearly like totally in love with this little girl. And I was right about the scene where they're interviewing with the well, it's like a panel of teachers that are asking these questions, and one of them is an unbelievable asshole who like starts to almost like make fun of the fact that Anya's original mother died. And the father just like destroys this coffee table in front of him. He's so pissed off. But then he manages to like, he was like, "Oh, I was just trying to swat this mosquito so that it wouldn't bite." Anyway, it's hilarious. And of course there's all these actions. There's tons of action. At one point these punks try to kidnap Anya just because they think that she's rich or something, and they're just going to hold her ransom. Is like completely random. Yeah, they're just like, we're going to kidnap her, but she's out shopping with her mom, and her mom sees it happen, and she goes over there and just kicks their asses. Of course, but at any rate, I tell you, it was almost an emotional. It was a really emotional show for me. Like I was like tearing up so many times just because it hit all the right notes for me. So anyway, yeah, best show I've seen in a long, long time. Okay, that's all I have to say. So anyway, if you like anime, I highly recommend it. If you're not, I mean, it may be because I have kids, and so this little girl really struck a chord with me. But at the same time, the parents are awesome and funny, and I thought it was great.
I've decided during that whole thing too. I'm gonna refer to it as Spy by Family.
Yes,
like a 2x4. Right. It's gonna be Spy by Family.
Yeah, but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, because obviously they're, the main father is on a mission, and what happens when they could drag it out for many, many seasons, this one mission, so who knows. But the whole thing is, well, once this mission's over, this whole fake family is over, but somehow I don't think that's gonna happen, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe I was too emotional to watch the show.
maybe that might actually be the thing.
It really struck a
you need to go out. You need to start lifting some weights and eat a nice red steak and get those testosterone levels higher.
I guess so. But anyway, yeah, it was a really cute show. Better. You're not gonna believe this, but I thought it was better than Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out.
No, I believe it. But Uzaki-chan was pretty good. I still haven't watched the full thing, but I've seen a bit of it.
Yeah. Uzaki was funny and fun, but it just wasn't, it wasn't like,
I like shows that make me want to care about the characters. And it's, some shows is like, I like the show and I like the characters, but I don't necessarily care about the characters. And I think any story that makes you care about the characters is usually done right.
Yeah, this one, I really want them to end up together like a real family. It's like, I really care about these characters. So I'm sure there will be some terrible thing is going to happen, and it's going to be horrible. But hopefully it'll end up happy in the end.
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen too many I've seen too many anime that started out happy and then pissed a lot of people off because it didn't end happy, so then it had to come back with a happy ending. Yeah. Like Clannad.
Yeah. Like what?
Clannad, which I think started out as a visual novel. But that one, oh my god, that had a rough ending, and then basically Jesus stuff after the ending, and everybody came back for no good reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
if you actually,
I'm not sure.
If you want to watch something that's going to make you feel things that you don't know if you necessarily want to feel, Clannad is probably one of those. Because it starts out as like a high school story, right? Which I didn't care for the beginning as much, but it was like based off a visual novel, so like there were different like character routes and stuff like that. And it follows like the two main characters that are a couple that get together, and like eventually the main girl that you're following dies in childbirth, and you're just following like the dad who's raising their daughter as like a single father. Like it gets pretty real.
This is Clannad.
Yes.
Okay then.
Yeah. Because most people think anime, they think like either comedy or action, and they don't realize that there are actually some really oddly heartfelt drama animation out there.
Apparently, it is also a video game on the Switch.
Yeah.
Clannad. See, Spy Family could totally be a video game.
Of course it could.
Spy Family. There's one scene. There's this one scene. Like, now some of it is really absurd, like bizarre, like just absurd, because it's like the two parents are like running away and fighting these ninja assassins who are trying to kill them, but for some reason, like neither of them gets that the other is a, somehow she doesn't figure out he's a spy, and he doesn't figure out she's an assassin, and it's like, come on. But at one point, he takes a grenade, and like this is when he hasn't proposed to her yet. Takes a grenade, pulls the pin, throws it, and then he puts the pin on her finger to propose to her. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I saw this weekend, I think.
Well, at least you got to see some things.
Yeah.
I know, like, everybody, especially as we're supposed to be talking about stuff, and we always just feel like we're constantly behind on everything.
Yeah, I needed to take 2 days off work just so I could see all the things.
And they're making even more things we have to see.
Oh, man.
So apparently there was a report that just came out, and the combination of things sounds awful. I can't believe this is going to be good, but if it is good, I'm going to be very excited. A live action Speed Racer TV series is apparently coming to Apple TV Plus.
Really?
But the caveat, it's from Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams' production company. And the good news, though, they're saying the show will be a back-to-basics version based on the original manga. So hopefully it's not going to be whatever the hell that like mid-2000s Speed Racer movie was. That they probably should have made like a Wacky Races movie or something instead.
Interesting.
Yeah. I like Speed Racer.
Is there going to be a monkey?
That's
the question.
It's going to be back to basics based on the original manga.
Was there a monkey in the manga?
I actually don't remember if the monkey was in the manga. I think he might have been made for the cartoon show.
Oh, okay.
His brother will be in it though. That was in the original.
His brother?
Yeah, remember his brother like died in a car accident, and then there was this mysterious Racer X that would sometimes end up helping Speed Racer. It was actually his brother who went missing in disguise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember now. Well, J.J. Abrams is not the showrunner. He is
No. It's just his production company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which anything under Bad Robot immediately makes J.J. the executive producer.
Right. It's such a shame because originally Bad Robot was like awesome. I mean, it did Alias and Lost, I think.
See, you had me until you mentioned the second one.
You didn't like Lost? I mean, I didn't
Lost
like the
was
end,
fine for like the first 3 seasons.
Yeah. I mean, so was Alias.
Yeah.
Alias was fine for 3 seasons, and then the last
Yeah.
few were like, what the hell just happened? I don't know why that keeps happening.
In fact, they actually originally wrote. I think he writes his shows for like 3 seasons. I think that's what he does. Yeah. Right? Because Lost was written to end in season 3, possibly, right? Like he had a backup, like a contingency where they could start to take it if they got renewed past season 3. But there was an original end goal where if they didn't get renewed, season 3 was going to end with them actually getting rescued by another plane getting off the island. And that would have been, actually, if you even go back and watch it, season 3 would have been a nice point to end it. But it was just so popular, they renewed it, and he kept going. But I don't know how far he actually had plans in the future, because I think the show Lost as a title was a more apt representation of the writing staff trying to figure out where the show is going.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much once they introduced Jacob and the Man in Black, it was like,
yeah,
this show is just, yeah. Just went crazy.
Fishoso has no problem with the Speed Racer movie. Well, I wouldn't say I had no problem. It's kind of cool for what it is. That's what I'll say. It makes me feel like I'm on as much of a drug trip as that Pal World trailer did. Like it's simultaneously Speed Racer and not Speed Racer at the same time, right? But But,
well, one of the co-writers was, I guess, a writer or showrunner for Westworld.
Okay.
Which I liked. Again, I liked the first like 2 seasons of Westworld, or maybe only the first season, but
so
that kind of ran off the rails,
happen, right? How many chapters were in the Speed Racer manga? Let me look at that. Let's see. How many? Come on, tell me, Google.
And then a showrunner for Snowpiercer. I've never heard of Snowpiercer. I don't know if it's a good thing to have 2 different showrunners on the same show. A showrunner is basically like a director, right?
Yeah. So they probably, looking at this, they probably have like a season or 2 going off of source material. And yeah, that would, because it'd be going off of Mock Go Go,
which only aired for 2 years.
Yeah, so we're probably gonna get 2 or 3 seasons of source material, and then if it's popular, it's going to get renewed, and they're going to keep going past the actual source material. So we're probably just going to get a typical Bad Robot show where we get 3 seasons, and then
and then it just goes off the rails. Yep.
And like, so you know when you just type in anything in Google, there's like after the first 2 results, it's like people also ask section. One of these questions, I'm like, where does this come from? Is Speed Racer a sociopath? Like, who would even ask that question?
That's weird. What did you search for?
I just typed in like how many chapters did Speed Racer have, and one of the people also asked for, is Speed Racer a sociopath?
Yeah, if I type in "is Speed Racer," I get, is it a good movie? Yeah. Is it on Netflix? Is Speed Racer white? Is Speed Racer good? And is Speed Racer a sociopath?
Yeah.
What's the answer? Oh, apparently.
Yep.
His theme proclaims he is a demon on wheels.
He is a demon on wheels.
Here you go, Mel. Oh, it's probably because of this article on Mel magazine. Oh no, wait. There's a whole meme about it called "Speed Racer is a toxic piece of shit."
Well, you know what? It's probably because it's an old series, and then like modern progressives look at it and they're like, "Oh my, look how problematic this is."
Our fast protagonist is a handsome, ambitious narcissist whose abuse knows no ends.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's hilarious. But there's also a Know Your Meme article. Probably. Oh, look. There's a video on YouTube from 2013 called "Speed Racer Gives Zero Fucks."
Let's see, that I like more. Just giving zero fucks doesn't make you a sociopath.
Yeah. And then another video later in the year entitled "Proof Speed Racer is a Sociopath."
Yeah. So here's
these look like they're funny.
Right. Is the live action show, if they're going back to basics, they'll probably still use the Americanized name for the show, but are they going to call him Speed Racer, or are they going to go with his original name, Go Minafune?
Mm-hmm.
Which basically means Speed Racer. Minafune was actually the last name of a famous actor in Japan, but put Go in front of it together, and it basically just means Speed Racer. I would like it if they just called him Go. It'd be cool than hearing them call him Speed the entire time.
Yeah. There's an episode where Speed Racer finds out his opponent needs to win so he can use the money to help his little sister, and he speeds up so that he'll win. Help his sick little sister.
It's like the original...
Well, he's trying to win. I mean,
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Do you know why the joke Go? It's got a double meaning to it, right? It's also the Japanese number for 5, right? So the original series title was Mach Go Go Go, right? So you have Mach 5. They're using the original, or the English definition of Go as well, and they're using the character's name Go. So it's Mach 5, the character Go, like telling him to go. So it's just Mach Go Go Go, and it's really funny when you break that down. Though I understand why nobody calls that in English, because you have to like literally explain it to somebody. Most people.
So it's using 3 different meanings for the word go.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What does that have to do with him being a sociopath?
I don't know. Maybe they think he would drive his brother off a cliff.
Yeah. Oh, these are okay. So these are like parodies, kind of like the like that Yu-Gi-Oh,
like a bridge.
Yeah, they like the Yu-Gi-Oh bridge series. There's a Speed Racer Goes Crazy.
There's a guy I've been watching recently who tries to do like voiceovers. I'm trying to remember his name. His stuff's always showing up in my feed, and it's basically, it'll do like memes, images, like top text, bottom text memes, and he'll do like an entire dialogue between 2 fictional characters with these memes on the screen doing the voice for him. Like he'll do like Columbo, but he's in Death Note or something like that, or Superman doesn't understand inflation, or things like that. It would just be like short little bits, and they're funny. I love them. I'm trying to see if I can find out the name of the guy who.
Is that a real one? Superman doesn't understand.
Yeah, I think that's literally the name of one. Is like Superman, and it shows like the old cartoon Superman, and he's like trying to do that voice.
Yeah.
It might also be like Superman doesn't pay taxes. I think that might be the same guy. Let me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The guy's name is Solid JJ, and he just does like.
On Twitter
voiceover. No, on YouTube. You can go. It's Solid Space JJ. He also has ones like Mario evades the IRS. A whole bunch of them.
There we go.
And yeah, he just he'll take like these meme images to actually just have like some type of emotional portrayal, the back and forth, the characters like a comic, and he just does like voiceover of these ridiculous situations between characters. It's funny.
The Master Smurf race. Oh, that's funny. Iron Man, I hate teenagers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. I'll have to watch those later.
It's a great channel.
I wonder if he has anything on Speed Racer.
Scooby-Doo and the Mystery of the Dead Guy.
Oh, there it is. Superman versus the economy.
Yeah.
You point me in the direction of this inflation, fella. And something.
Yeah.
Silly.
Batman destroys the Justice League with facts and logic. It's a funny channel.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Did you put that one somewhere?
I don't know if I did, but yeah, that's the same guy. He does this stuff.
I've apparently watched it because there's a little red line. Your weakness is the color yellow.
Kermit's divorce was a good one too.
Yeah.
It's like, Fozzie, she's taking the kids.
There's a lot of crazy stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, I love it though. Like that's what used to make YouTube great, and like finding creators that are still doing stupid shit like this just makes me happy every time.
Yeah. What was? Oh, there's another guy, I can't remember his name offhand, who does like, he inserts, like he has one where it's like Mr. Bean, but he's in Fallout or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, he photoshops Mr. Bean into these video games and stuff like that. Pretty good.
Yeah. Well, there's your recommendation for today. A quick thing that's easy to find and watch. But with that, we've made it to the end of the show.
Woo.
Yeah, it's already that time. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please share it with somebody else who might like it. The more the merrier. Really helps the show out. And if you really enjoy the show, consider giving a donation to streamlabs.com/vomitorium live. Helps with our monthly hosting fees, which I have already paid this month, but it's always nice to be recompensated a little bit for it. And we'll see you guys in the next episode, which won't be this Saturday, actually. I forgot to say, we're not having an episode Saturday. I will be out of town for the weekend, so I guess we'll see you
next week then.
Yeah. Take it easy.